Yesterday, both teams would have to settle for just the point after that 1-1 draw and a stoppage time equalizer from Angel Carrera. But the big talking point was the match getting suspended in the 64th minute due to supporters throwing items on the pitch at Madrid keeper Thibaut Courtois, whose plaque had been vandalized ahead of this match. So things were already contentious between this. Charlie, how disappointing is it when the story of the match becomes incidents like this rather than what's actually happening on the pitch?
Yeah, it's disappointing. Nobody wants to watch a match that gets suspended because of the fans' unrest, especially when you see the game that was pretty slow. It felt like Real Madrid were just doing what they needed to do to get a result, to get the win. Atlético Madrid were defending in the first half. I was a little disappointed in the way that they approached the game. I thought we see, okay, finally they're starting the big three. We're going to see them attack, and it was the opposite. You would think that there'd be throwing numbers forward, there'd be some sort of connections on the attacking third, and that didn't exist. So from that standpoint, finally we start getting the game going in the second half, and when Militao scores, I was like, okay, now the game's going to open up. And all that opened up was lighters flying on the field.
Right, yeah. It was an alert to the fans to react, and it's something that had been boiling before the match. The fans made it clear. For some reason, they were trying to advocate for fans to wear masks in the match. The league or someone was trying. It was maybe a health and safety issue, and the fans took it. And you can see here someone wearing a balaclava. The fans took it as, yeah, wear a mask, kind of a no face, no case type of thing, and then we can be as racist as we want, and then you can't get us in trouble. And this is something that, in particular with Atletico Madrid fans, there's been an undercurrent for a very long time of a very sort of difficult, far right-wing advocacy within their fan group that hasn't been dealt with. And that's something that needs to be dealt with. That needs to be dealt with by the league and by the club in particular. And you saw it rear its ugly head in some of the chatter before the match. Luckily, you didn't get to that point, but you saw lighters being thrown on the pitch. It's kind of difficult, and it's frustrating. If you are an Atletico Madrid fan, why the unrest? You're in third place. It's not like you were having a bad season and you're trying to show discomfort. You're clearly just there just to cause a ruckus. You're clearly doing that just to disrupt or even maybe, racially abuse a player. That's not okay. That's something that needs to be dealt with.
How about no masks allowed in the stadium?
Yeah, I mean, you can't say that because if somebody needs to for medical reasons, right?
One that covers everything?
I'm with you.
Just the eyes?
Shiesties is, I mean, they don't let you go to court that way. You shouldn't be allowed to go to a game that way.
I think LaLiga dropped the ball significantly on this going into the match. If Atleti fans are saying we're going to do this because that way it hides any potential ramifications of identifying who's causing racial abuse, why are you letting fans into that stadium? Fans are already declaring what they're going to do. Have them out. Have 50% of the fans, have no fans in that stadium. Punish the club. This is LaLiga all over again. It's another situation, and it's just hovering over the issue of racism. Yet again, nothing being done to prevent things. It's all reactionary. It just pisses me off time and time again.
Yeah, 100%. And unfortunately, it's sort of become a regular occurrence in La Liga, these type of incidents. This is what Diego Simeone had to say following the match and the instances. He said, throwing things is wrong, isn't right, but we have to stay calm and understand the situation. Know how we can celebrate a goal, not looking at the stands with those gestures. So how do you take this, Alexis? Is he kind of pointing the finger?
Yeah, it's a little bit of, for me, it's disappointing.
Yeah.
It's like, no, don't antagonize the fan. No, the fans shouldn't be throwing things. You can celebrate any way you want. It's not like the players are going into the stands and trying to fight these fans. At the end of the day, and you can see this, they're clearly not even showing reverence to their own players that are coming over and begging them to stop so they can continue the match. And they were warned twice. The players were pulled off the match, supposed to be for 15 minutes. It ended up being about 20. And this is the players going to the fans and saying, please, we want to finish this game. Look, they collected a bag's worth of lighters. This isn't okay, and it's not okay to blame the players. They tried doing this with Vinicius. Well, you're antagonizing the fan. It's not okay. If you react by throwing stuff and if you react by being racist, you were wrong. That means you're very easily antagonized into doing either violence or inciting violence or inciting racism. That's not okay.
Yeah. What should the repercussions be then? For
Points. Points is the only thing that make teams really pay attention and fans really feel
money.
that.
You hurt them with money. When you hurt them with ticket sales, you hurt them with points, which prevents them from qualifying from Europe. Guess what? There's going to be a real change in the mentality and the way that fans approach the game because the ownership won't allow for it. They won't stand for it. If you're hurting their pockets, oh, for sure, then things are going to change.
Yeah.
That's how it always is.
Add transfer bans in there as well. If you can't get it under control, you also have a transfer ban. Now that's going to affect you for the next season. It's not fair. And it's not fair to the fans who, Charlie brings this up all the time, and it's a part that I just never look at it because maybe it's because I don't have kids. I don't think often about the kid that gets a chance to go to a match for the first time. What do you think they're seeing?
Yeah.
How do you think they're accepting this? How do you think they're taking this? You've got families that want to go to these games and want to have a night out. And if you've got a bunch of rowdy fans throwing stuff on the pitch, being racist, you're going to have a very uncomfortable conversation with your children. And also, you might not be willing to bring them back again. And it's just not fair to those fans.
No, it's very well said. All right, let's try to salvage some sort of footballing conversation out of this match rather than allow that to take all of the attention. Barcelona still remains in control in a title race here. Did Atleti or Real Madrid, did you see anything yesterday that led you to believe that these two teams can compete with a Barcelona? Could this be a three-horse race at the end of the season?
I wouldn't take too much out of this match because the main protagonist that should have been in this match, Kylian Mbappe, not in there. And the match was cagey. It was two sides that respected each other and really played not to lose. Atleti were set up. Some of the key players that I was expecting to start, Simeone not starting, came off the bench in the second half, and when Atleti were chasing the game, it was like, oh, okay. But this goal right here from Eder Militao, that is just a world-class finish. Vinny Jr. once again being the catalyst for Real Madrid, but throughout the 90 minutes, the match was on a knife's edge, and I feel like you were left wanting a bit more from both sides. And Chuck, you were saying something similar.
Yeah, for me, Simeone has been good, but if you play Griezmann and you play Julian Alvarez and you play Sorloth, then there is no place for Simeone, and you got to live and die by that. And at that point, you got to attack. You have to figure out, okay, you have Rodrigo de Paul, Llorente, and Conor Gallagher in the midfield, but they just literally sat back, and Rodrigo de Paul got cooked by Vinny Jr. on that goal. He got absolutely cooked. But you would think, given the talent that Atletico Madrid has now as an attacking team, that they're going to create opportunities, be on the front foot, and be one of the teams competing for La Liga. I don't see it with this team. Not yet. I think it's going to take some time. Not yet.
Yeah,
I think it's going to take some time.
It is still a two-horse race for me. But I want to give a little credit to Correa to come in, who Jan Oblak after the match said, this guy is like a wonder to have around. He's always laughing, always smiling, good guy, whether he plays or not. He's always a good guy to have around. So for someone like that to get that opportunity, especially with the style of goal it was, rumbling and bumbling. Edgar Militao kind of kicked it back in his way. It kind of goes in. I'm happy for someone like that, but I agree with what both of you are saying. It feels like a two-horse race right now. I don't know if Atletico Madrid made that step.
Who's the other horse? Is it Osasuna?
Tell me what. Y'all need to put Ante Budimir on your team. Fantasy points.
Yeah.
He cooks.
She has the La Liga spot.
I do have a
You need to get him on your team.
I know. We'll talk.
17 goals last season. Been all right.
Okay, I'm listening.